Record here. All right, very good. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Zoom. My name is Cameron Moss, and I am honored to host this tonight. If you were invited on this call, it probably means that you either recently got started with your journey with ketones. Maybe you're still waiting on your products to arrive. Maybe you've had it a couple days, maybe you're a couple weeks in, maybe you're a couple months in, or maybe you've been drinking ketones for a little while now. You're just always excited about learning new optimization tips. But we wanted to just kind of bring everyone on tonight. We kind of called this like a customer Zoom, and that means that you guys, like I said, you'll probably already have made the decision to start your journey, but we want to give you some tips to help you maximize that and just ensure that you get the absolute best experience possible with these amazing ketones. So I would love for y'all to put in the chat box, since we know where the chat box is now, how long you've been drinking ketones. We would love to know that. That would be awesome. And what your favorite flavor is. I think that would be fun to see. And so first of all, I just want to take a moment and just congratulate you guys for taking, number one, for making that decision to decide that you're worth it, that your health is worth it, to start your journey with ketones. And also this time that we're in right now, this kind of crazy time, uncertain time, that you've stuck with it during this time, and you've, said, hey, I'm worth it, my health is worth it, and I know I needed them before, but I need them now more than ever. So I just want to commend y'all for that, and for making your health a priority and just your overall wellness. So pat yourself on the back real quick for that. And tonight I'm really excited because I'm actually going to be interviewing a couple friends of mine that I've been blessed to be on this journey with for the last 4 years now, actually. It's hard to believe, time flies, I'll tell you. But I'm going to interview Julia and Logan Roberts, and they are two amazing keto coaches. Julia's actually an exercise physiologist, and her husband Logan is an RN. And not only do they already have those, backgrounds in kind of nutrition and medical, but they've also helped transform over 27,000 lives with this amazing product. And that is a lot of lives. So I just want to give y'all a quick little hand clap for that, because that's amazing. And throughout that journey, they've been able to really coach people at a high level through how to maximize their ketone experience. So I thought they would be amazing to be the ones to kind of give us those tips. So you guys are in for a huge surprise. If you have like a pen and paper or something to take some notes, you might hear a couple things that you just want to jot down and kind of keep in your pocket throughout this experience. And also what's really cool about it is they both had a really cool transformation themselves. Logan has lost over 50 pounds. They have 2 little ones. So I know that Julia has an awesome experience as well. And I believe we're going to show y'all some pictures of kind of their experience. But even, they've experienced the whole gamut of benefits, from the fat loss to the muscle preservation to just being a better version of themselves, better spouses, better parents. So I know that they're honored to take us through this. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. Julia and Logan, are you guys with me here? You were on my screen, but I don't know where you went. So I'm going to try to find you here.
We are. Yes, we are. Oh, can you hear me? We are here.
I'm still looking for you. There we are. Yes.
Oh, are you trying?
I think we got y'all.
Hey.
We good?
Yes.
How's it going?
We're super excited to be on so much.
Awesome.
Are you ready?
Kate, are they clear for you? Or yeah, I want to make sure our connection's clear. It might be mine. Okay, let's give it a test 1, 2.
All right. Yeah. If you can hear us, throw some messages in the chat box if you can hear us loud and clear.
I can hear you. You hear
Kate. Well, this is Julia. Okay.
We're clear?
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Sweet. Okay, awesome. So Julia and Logan, I would love so I feel like, fat loss is a huge, huge benefit that a lot of people have experienced from this product. I know you guys have had your own fat loss experience, but would you mind kind of telling us, I guess to start out, what are the tips that you can give people who are looking for particularly fat loss in this journey?
Yes. So guys, we're super excited. Logan and I, obviously we do life together since he's my spouse, but we haven't done one of these calls together in a really long time. So normally we pass off and one of us does a call and one of us takes care of the kids. So we're super excited tonight to be here. And so we have a ton that we want to share with you. But we first want to share kind of our story, because I think that plays a huge role in where you guys are. I was reading some of the comments and they were 2 weeks in, 2 months in. Some of you have never even opened your pack. And that's super exciting to me, because you're starting off with all of this knowledge, all of this information right out of the gates, which just puts you ahead of the game, which is super fun for us to know that you're starting with all the tools in your pocket, in your belt that you need. So Logan, actually, do you want to share kind of your fat loss story and kind of what was the game changer for you?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I started this product 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
We started drinking ketones, and luckily my lovely nagging wife here would not let me quit, even though I didn't want to. I did want to quit, actually. So I was drinking them. 3 months in, nothing was happening for me. Nothing was going on. And I was just starting to get real frustrated, like I'm sure some of you guys have felt. Well, turns out my body needed some time to heal itself, and it needed to work from the inside out. What is? Oh, okay. So it needed to work from the inside out. And about that 3 month mark, I started experiencing all these different benefits. So I was seeing better sleep, which in turn led me to choosing better foods. And then 3 months in, I was dropping 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
and it was crazy because it was around that time that I actually got pregnant. And so I swear he would wake up, go to the bathroom, and come out skinnier. And I was like, what? Because I was expecting. And I was like, well, this is not fair. And I was still drinking my ketones. I was still feeling amazing. I had a ton of energy, all these things that we're going to talk to you about. But the conditions finally 3 months in were just right. And he started making choices that made the conditions just right. And those are the things that we're going to talk to you about, because we can tell you all day long until we're blue in the face that you need to be consistent. But if you have big fat loss goals, if you can see our pictures, I'm going to be mean to you for a second. He had some big fat loss goals. He had to make some changes. And so those are the changes that we're going to talk about. And I still thought you were very handsome, by the way. So the first thing that we just want to say is drink 2 a day. Wake up first thing in the morning, drink your first packet of ketones, and then you're going to utilize a second pack later in the afternoon when you hit that energy wall. When you're tempted to go to the fridge and grab a Coca-Cola, or if you're tempted to get a Snickers bar out of the vending machine of your work, that is when you're going to stop everything, go find your second serving of ketones.
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's
So
next?
you said morning and afternoon. What do you think time-wise?
Well, so everybody's going to be a little bit different. And sometimes I use my second serving right before I go to bed. I'll drink a caffeine-free. And that's going to be a little bit different for everybody. Now, a big benefit of mine, and we're not really getting into this, but is mood. And by 2, 3 o'clock, if I don't have a second serving, I'm ready to murder my family. I don't know if anyone else has ever felt that way during this quarantine where you're all stuck in a tiny house together. So around 2 o'clock is when my patients start to kind of get a little thinner, and I get a little moody, a little cranky, and that's when I'll drink my second one. But you can utilize that right after lunch if you're kind of feeling yuck, or you can utilize it, right before you go to bed to get the best night's sleep ever. But 2 a day, getting those ketones in, even if you're doing the keto diet, and we can talk about that a little bit more, but even if you're doing a keto diet, you want to make sure that you're maintaining those levels, because there are so many things outside factors that go into actually being in ketosis, even with the keto diet. And so I think that's important to note.
Absolutely.
What's next?
What's next? Do you want me to go on?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I did that I was against a lot at first, but I realized that I'm going to have to make some changes if I want to see these changes later on. So what I did and what I have been recommending is to reduce your carbohydrate intake. So you may not want to follow a very strict ketogenic diet, which is like 5% carbohydrates of your total calories. So you may want to just slowly, like gradually reduce them. The way that I recommend people do it is start at wherever you are. Start at like 200 grams of carbohydrates a day or 100 grams of carbohydrates a day, and then work your way down over a period of a month, and then get down to, the low 20s. Whatever you feel you're best at, stay there, because carbohydrates they are the enemy of ketones, basically, right? So if you can reduce those, reduce the sugar, donuts, cut them out, Coca-Colas, any sugary drinks, things like that. So reduce overall carbohydrate intake, and you will break through plateaus. I almost guarantee that.
Yeah. And so he's talking, about like macros, right? A lot of that was kind of macro oriented, where he's talking about how much to eat when. My biggest recommendation is start logging your food, whether it's on MyFitnessPal, whether it's on a like pad of paper. If you just write down what you're eating, you're going to be more mindful of what you're eating, because I guarantee you're not going to write in like a handful of M&Ms, right? You're going to not want to do that. And so allowing yourself to track that, it's also going to show you your guideline of where you are. So you'll know, like Logan said, start at your baseline, start where you are, and gradually start decreasing that. And as you log those, you'll see how many hidden sugars, hidden carbs are in things that you wouldn't think about. Like maybe you are going to get a salad and you're pouring dressing on. Well, you don't know what's in that dressing. You can't just like squirt the whole bottle on your salad and expect to lose a ton of fat if that dressing is all sugar. So logging that really allows you to see like in condiments or portion sizes, because a lot of people, a huge downfall is that you'll think that you're eating well. You think that you're making really keto choices. However, if you eat an entire thing of macadamia nuts, you're definitely going out of your range because of the portion size. So it's really important to write that down, to take note of that, to kind of see where you are and then go from there.
Yeah, so she mentioned hidden sugars, and I'm going to talk a little about those and artificial sweeteners real quick. So she's talking hidden sugars, even in things like bacon. A lot of times if you go to the grocery store, you'll see the package of bacon, and it'll say somewhere in the corner, like cured in sugar. You don't want that. That means that bacon's just been sitting in sugar, right? So you don't want that. It's going to increase your carb intake, even though that on the back of the package, it'll say like 1 or 2 grams of carbohydrates, or your serving size of bacon. It's still in there because it's cured in that. So you got to watch out for hidden sugars, things like glucose, dextrose, sucralose, stuff like that.
Any lose,
Yeah,
really.
loses are not great. Artificial sweeteners, there's some that actually do spike your insulin over time with repetitive use. Some good ones that I like to use are like erythritol, stevia, and monk fruit. Those 3 are pretty much the only ones that we use. Things that are not good, things that will spike your insulin, which is going to cause you to gain more fat, is maltitol, things like sucralose. The high fructose corn syrup is obviously, I think most people know to stay away from that now, but that's a really prevalent one that we see a lot.
Yeah. And somebody asked, and I'm kind of monitoring your chats as you ask questions. Someone asked about prioritizing protein over fat. So there's several rules of thumb. Now, not anything is going to be clear cut for everybody. So understand that like how your body works and how your body achieves ketosis, and Logan's, it depends on a lot of factors. There's a lot of things that happen internally to help you achieve ketosis. And so like he can actually eat significantly more carbs than I can to stay in that state of ketosis, just because he's a pretty high level athlete now. And there's a lot of other factors. So can you talk about that for just a quick second?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I recommend when prioritizing prioritizing macros in general, is to get carbohydrates down first. So once you have your carbs under control, we know that the ketogenic diet is, and I assume we're talking mostly that, it is a moderate amount of protein in the diet and then a higher amount of fat. So most of your calories need to come from fat. what I like to do is pick a protein, pick 2 veggies, and then slather all the fat on there, right? So if I'm going to have ribeyes with broccoli and asparagus, I'm going to basically cook all of that in butter. I know I'm getting some fat out of the ribeye. I know that I'm getting a lot of good fats out of the butter. And I mean, I don't, it depends on how like tight that you want to monitor your macros. For fat loss, personally, I always suggest cut carbs as much as you can and then start from there.
And then again, like you said, there's a lot of other factors. So if you have like specific questions about your macros, and we'll talk about that, David. So did you see that question?
No.
So why would you eat fat if you're wanting to lose fat?
Okay.
So we'll talk about that. But work with whoever like invited you to the call. They can connect you with one of the coaches, whether it's us or a coach like within your area, somewhere close to you, that can kind of tell you specifically based on you. We're both pretty active, and so our macros have changed over time. They're not the same as what they were. There's a lot of different factors in that, and so that's something that we can kind of discuss a little bit later. So someone asked about why fat. If you're wanting to lose fat, why are you eating fat? So do you want to like lightly okay, never mind. Kate said that they're going to chat. So awesome. We're going to move on. So I'm going to talk about hydration for just a second. Yeah. Real quick, the biggest thing, and he kind of mentioned this when he was talking about the vegetables that he puts on his plate. And so that actually plays a huge part into hydration. And you might be sitting there thinking like, how in the heck does broccoli or leafy green vegetables play a factor in hydration? But hydration is so much more than water intake. Number one, you need to be drinking half of your body weight in ounces every single day, and then an extra 8 to 16 ounces for every serving of ketones or coffee that you drink. Coffee and ketones are both diuretics, which means that you're like getting rid of water. So you need to make sure that you're replenishing all of that. And then a key factor, and I'm a super hands talker, I'm so sorry if you guys don't know me, you'll get used to it, I think. But a key factor in staying hydrated is not only drinking that water. If your body is not absorbing it, it doesn't do any good. And so minerals and electrolytes play a huge role in that. So can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, so drinking water, like she mentioned, is only half of the equation. So you have to replace every time so we are drinking ketones. I drink coffee, so I'm going to assume everybody does, even though she doesn't. But these things are diuretics. And whenever you excrete or eliminate your urine, you're actually not just getting rid of water. It's a lot of waste. And a lot of that is, I'm a hands talker too.
Eliminate. I
didn't know. And, but whenever you do this, where water goes, things like sodium, potassium, and all these other electrolytes and minerals, they follow it. So you excrete all these things out, not just water. So you need to replace those as well, or you're not hydrating properly. So we actually have a product called Mitoplex that is a fantastic electrolyte replenisher that you can mix with your ketones or with water and just chug it.
And I love that for muscles too. Like again, I'm an exercise phys, so I kind of lean more towards like muscle preservation is one of my favorite benefits. Mitochondrial repair. Like there's so much in that Mitoplex, but you also get minerals from foods. So if you are experiencing like headaches or fatigue or like things like that, it may just be a dehydration, but due to minerals. So make sure that you're eating a variety of foods. A lot of people come to like a low carb and they think, well, I can eat cheese and bacon. And so literally all they eat is cheese and bacon. And while those are great foods and we definitely eat them, we also make sure that we eat a wide variety of vegetables. We still eat berries, and we can talk about, fruit here in a little bit. Like we still eat things in moderation. Obviously, fruit is sugar. There's a lot of sugar in fruit. So if you've hit a stall, maybe that's something that you cut off. And someone just said something about pink Himalayan sea salt, and that's what we season all of our foods with it, but we actually take what we call a salt shot. And so every morning he doesn't do this, his is a little different than mine, but I take a grinder and I grind salt into my hand and I lick it off and then I chug some water. So we've had people that drink actual salt water. They put salt in their ketones. They like whatever, however you want to do it, whether it's on food, whether it's in your hand and you lick it off. Maybe I shouldn't say that with all the COVID stuff. I wash my hands a lot though, I promise. And so that's an option too, but that's going to help replenish all of the minerals that you're missing out as you excrete them. And so, we always say like iodized salt is terrible if that's been stripped of everything. So you're looking for like a dirty salt, a salt that is colorful, a salt that looks kind of dirty. That's where you want to go. So we kind of talked about all that. If you want to talk about, where are we? Okay, I'm still going to talk.
I do have one thing on carbohydrates and like going low carb. A lot of people think they drink a lot of water right now. So you drink 6 or 7 water bottles a day and you think, well, I'm at however many ounces that is. And what I like to tell people is half of the word carbohydrate is hydrate, meaning carbs hold on to that water. So if you eliminate carbohydrates from your diet, you actually need to drink more water on top of that. And on a side note, you actually need more sodium than what is recommended, right? Yeah. The recommended amount of sodium, because where water goes, sodium follows. And if you're not holding on to it, you're not also holding on to sodium. So you also need to make sure that's another important part of having that pink Himalayan sea salt, that Celtic sea salt, because you do want to replenish that. Salt your foods, take it in the morning, things like that.
You're so smart. So he's a lot smarter than I am. I usually say he's the pretty one, but I think he's the smart one too.
Oh, we talked about this.
Oh, I'll talk about that.
A real big
So one of the things that we started utilizing and love is intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting just means that you're extending your fast. You wake up in the morning, you drink that packet of ketones, and then you don't eat until you are actually hungry. I'm going to talk 2 parts of this. So the first part is a lot of us just eat because we think we have to. We think it's 9 o'clock in the morning and we haven't had food and we're going to starve to death if we don't. That is not real. So I started out super slow with this. So I started out, I would drink it and it maybe would be like 9 o'clock and I would feel like I was going to like eat everything in my home. And then it went to 10 and then it went to 11 and then finally it got to noon. And that's a great spot to start from noon until 8 p.m. being your feeding window. So guys, we're animals. Like that's what we are. We're mammals. Like think of your dogs, your whatever, if you have horses or cows, they have certain feeding times. So that's my feeding window. That's when I feed my body. Food is fuel. It's not enjoyment. And so if you can like take that out of it and think I'm fueling my body for the best possible health outcome, then that's your feeding window. That's when you eat. So ketones, number 1, they will not break your fast. I do intermittent fasting every single day. I do switch it up. And so sometimes, and I actually learned this from Dr. Andy, who I cannot say her last name, but she talked about switching it up. So you're always changing it up on your metabolism. So every single day I have that noon to 8 window, but then 1 day a week, I'll do a 24-hour fast where I just don't eat that day. And it's always different. So sometimes it's a Monday, sometimes it's a Wednesday. It's always based on how you feel. So it's not necessarily like, this is the day that I'm not going to eat. It's based on how I feel that week. If I'm feeling super good and I'm not hungry, then I'm not going to eat just because like society tells me it's time to eat. So listen to your body. I think that's a huge one. And that kind of plays into the reboot. And so I think you should talk about the reboot a little bit and how that helps listen to your body.
Yeah. So the reboot is a great way to kind of control, like reset and control the way that you view food and your behaviors around food. And not only that, so basically it's a 60-hour fast, no food. We have all the products in the keto reboot to help make those 60 hours as easy as possible. And it's really not that bad. I've done several. My wife does one every other month-ish,
yeah,
at least. And we've seen so many people break through massive plateaus. Say they've been stuck, I don't just throw a weight out there. They've been stuck at like 170 and they have not been able to break this plateau. And then they fast. Yeah, of course, you're going to lose that weight because you're not eating food and you realize that you're going to gain it back. However, it's the mental aspect of the reboot that really plays the biggest role. Because whenever we did one of our first reboots, we realized we were just bored and walking to the fridge, opening the fridge and looking inside.
Yeah.
We weren't even that hungry. We had just started the reboot. It's just because that you're going 60 hours without food, and it's a certain time of day that you should be looking for it. When in reality, your body is not craving food.
Right.
On the note of craving, there's one thing I didn't mention about
Mm-hmm.
hydration.
Yeah.
90% of Americans, probably people in the world, are dehydrated all day long. The first, hunger is actually not the first sign. I don't know how to
Hunger is the
explain
first
that.
sign of dehydration. So
Hunger
you're
is
not
one of the first
necessarily
signs.
hungry. You're thirsty.
Right.
You're dehydrated.
Right.
And so your body's asking for anything that it can pull water from.
Right. So reboot tip. Anytime you start to feel hungry, just chug a lot of water.
Yeah, for sure. And the reboot, and why I'm kind of talking about this is, number one, it does help you learn a lot about your body. So it resets your metabolism. The beauty of the reboot, while you will lose some weight during the 60 hours like Logan talked about, the beauty is the next 2 weeks, because you've really reset your metabolism. And so you're starting over with a clean, healthy gut that's able to absorb food properly, good food. You're going to notice what foods your body loves and which foods don't necessarily sit well with you. Like, I know that I'm a little bit sensitive to cheese and milk. I know that because I came off of a reboot and I ate a lot of cheese and I got really sick, and it was not a pleasant experience for anybody. So then moving forward, I lessened the amount of dairy that I consumed, and I felt really good. So I hope that makes sense. It teaches you so much about your body. And then the other thing, just in general, and kind of, I don't know how I haven't talked about this first, is movement. And so, again, I love exercise. That is something that is one of the things that, we actually created a fitness program for individuals with Down syndrome. That's how we met. And so, we love incorporating exercise into every single person's life. And so even if you have limitations, physical limitations, even if you're not in the best shape of your life, you can still move. So a lot of times I like to talk about just non-exercise calorie expenditures. So if you're sitting working at your home, you can stand up. I'm going to stand up, and then you can sit down. You can stand up, you can sit down. You can do that 10 times every single time you get up and come back from the bathroom if you're working from home. If you work at an office, every hour you can do a little something different that allows you to move, allows you to burn some calories, allows you to kind of kickstart everything, and then go back to your desk. If you have kids, you can make it fun with them. So I do, we call it the mommy chair. And essentially that just means that my kids sit on my legs and I lift them up in the air and then I pull them back down. It's not exercise, but it's definitely still burning calories. It's definitely movement. And so movement plays such a big role in, number one, getting ketones into your cells. That is the goal. The goal is to use ketones as fuel, fat for fuel. That's the goal. And so the more that you exercise, the more that you're pushing those ketones into your cells and fueling every single part of your body. And that kind of plays into why you eat fat, right? You're using this fat for fuel. So I think that is that all of our tips? Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
That's all of our tips. Cameron,
that is all of our tips. Those are all of our tips.
Whoa!
So many.
That was amazing. That was so awesome. I actually have so many notes. I literally learned a lot of new stuff. So I love that. And I love having both of you guys share. So y'all should definitely do that more often. Love that. So awesome. And by the way, if there's any questions in the comments, we'll capture those questions. We actually are recording this, and we can actually capture the chat thread, and we'll make sure we answer those questions on the next time we do this, because we're definitely going to do it again. I mean, this has been super powerful. I love that. Thank you guys so much for all of those amazing tips. Super helpful, and I really appreciate you all. Now, what we're going to do for the next couple minutes is we definitely wanted to just kind of tell everyone about how to about some of our customer perks. Okay, so you may or may not be familiar with our customer perks, but I'm just going to take a moment and just kind of run through those because there are some really awesome perks when it comes to being a customer. And when you get started as a customer, you might have seen the question that asked you if you wanted to do like a one-time order or if you wanted to set up a monthly order, and that might have mentioned a 22% discount. So that discount is what you receive whenever you become a SmartShip customer. And so that just simply means setting up your monthly order so that you don't have to worry about running out and going in and placing that order. You're going to get 22% off just by having your SmartShip turned on. So the only time that you'll pay regular price would be that initial first order, unless you start with our 10-day challenge kit, or if you go in and order in between. And there's also some creative ways that you can get discounts on that as well that I'm going to tell you about right now. So that's number one, is 22% off your monthly order when you're on SmartShip. And just so you know, you can actually go in and you can switch out your flavors month to month. You get an alert 5 days before your order processes, where you can go in, you can switch up flavors, you can add an extra product. I know they talked about Mitoplex, they talked about the Reboot. So those are things that you can actually add right onto your SmartShip right up until like a day before it ships, and you can still get 22% off on what you add on your SmartShip. So that is amazing. I love, love, love that. The next thing is, as a SmartShip customer, you actually get every 4th month that you're on SmartShip, you're going to get an extra surprise box of ketones for free. Literally, when your SmartShip order arrives, you're going to have the flavor that you have set up on SmartShip plus an extra box for free, which is really, really, really awesome. It allows you to try different flavors. It allows you to share, because you probably have people that are asking what in the world that is you're drinking. So you can use this if you want to be generous and maybe throw a pack to someone. I love, love, love that we get that 4 months free. And additionally, another huge, huge perk of being a SmartShip customer, and one of our customer perks, is that you actually have your own referral code that you can set up. And the way that you do that is you just simply go into your Pruvit Cloud, where you would manage, track your order, manage your SmartShip, and you're going to click your name in the top right corner. You're going to click settings, and you'll see referrer code. Go ahead and set up that referrer code, because once that is set up, you now have that code that you can share with people for them to order and you to get credit for that order. Okay. I don't know if y'all know this, but as a customer, you can literally earn your ketones for free. And here is how. As long as you have your SmartShip set up and you have 2 people that place an order using your referral code, I know, right? It's so awesome. 2 people using your referral code in a monthly period, you will earn Pruvit bucks on the 1st of the following month that will pay for that next month's order, at least 1 box, maybe more, depending on what your customers order. So the way that works is, let's say I have my SmartShip set up, I'm a new customer, I just ordered, just got started, and my sister and my neighbor are like, I want to drink, I want to try that, like that looks awesome. So they both go in, they use my referral code, they place an order. Now on June 1st, I'm going to go log into my account and I'm going to show Pruvit bucks there. And those Pruvit bucks will automatically apply to my next month's order. So that is how you can earn free product as a customer. And why not take advantage of that, right? Like, this is truly, I know a lot of you guys are just getting started, but I'm just telling you, it is too good not to share with people. It really, truly is. And not only that, but it's so awesome to have someone doing this with you. Like, it's so fun to have an accountability buddy to do this with you. So whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, or maybe you just throw something out there on Facebook and you take a picture of your ketones for the day and you're like, man, I love this stuff. And people are like, what is that? Boom, right there. That's your entryway in. And I'm going to tell y'all, I know that Julia and Logan just laid some crazy, like, awesome information on us. If it wasn't for people like them and all the other brainiacs in this Pruvit space, I don't know what I would have done, because I don't know all that knowledge. I didn't know all that knowledge. Like, I literally came into this, I probably didn't even know how to spell the word ketone, but I'll tell you, inspired by what I was experiencing, I knew enough to say, this works and you have to try it, and to start earning my ketones for free. Pruvit leads with education, so there's so much education. And by the way, on your notepad there, jot down Pruvit Facebook. And for a lot of the questions actually that got asked here in the chat box, if you go onto the Pruvit Facebook page and you scroll, you'll see that every Wednesday we have a doctor video where they do a Q&A and they answer a ton of questions, medical questions, what are ketones, diet related questions, like all of it, everything you can imagine. And there's literally in the title of it, where they put the title of the video, it has a breakdown of at what minute they talk about what. So that is a really great, if you're like, I cannot get enough of the information, I love it, or I still have some questions, definitely check that out because it's an amazing resource as well. Okay, so those are some of the perks so those are some of our customer perks. Now, if you're like, okay, I'm a couple weeks into, or I'm a couple months into this, and I literally cannot stop talking about this. Like, I have to tell people. That was me, by the way. I'm an esthetician by trade, so I did facials all day on people, and I literally could not hold back from telling my clients about this. And so for me, I got my 2 people, I earned my ketones free, but I wanted more. I wanted to tell more people. I wanted them to experience what I was experiencing. That is where our sharing perks come into this. Now, you have the ability to get a promoter membership. And what that means is that you can still get your 2 customers and get your ketones free. And then anything over 2, you're going to be compensated for. Okay. So you're going to be rewarded for anything over 2. And there is no cap on that. You can literally take that as far as you want to take it. Okay. And I'm going to tell you the recommendation right now. And I can say this, today's the 14th of the month. So until the 17th of the month, and we are hoping and praying that it goes longer than this, but I can only guarantee that it's going to be there until this Sunday night. Okay. We have this thing called the Dollar Keto Club. And the Dollar Keto Club is where you can get your promoter membership, which means unlimited people you can tell about this, for $1. And you get a starter pack, which is 3 boxes of ketones for 40% off. Okay. So literally for $235 plus your shipping is like $10 or so, you can get 3 boxes of ketones and your $1 membership for the whole year for your promotership, which is, it's unbelievable, you guys, because you can take this, and thank you, Kate, for showing that image. You can literally take, these are the 3 boxes of ketones here. You can take those packs out. You can break those down into little trial packs and sell them to your friends to let them try, sell them to your family members to let them try, and then they can go on your site and order when they figure out what the flavor is for them. So that Dollar Keto Club is what it's called. And when you do that, now if you're a customer, I'm going to tell you one more little secret, little tip here. If you're a customer, you also can access this Dollar Keto Club just to get that extra product on hand. So what will happen is if you go into your back office and you go into the store, you're going to see this starter system available in your back office. And if you select it, it's going to ask you if you want to check out as a customer or as a promoter. So if you check out as a customer, you're going to snag 3 boxes of ketones at 40% off. Okay. If you check out as a promoter, you're going to snag 3 boxes of ketones at 40% off and have a membership for the whole year. And then the person that you're working with directly is going to get on the phone with you or a Zoom or whatever it is. And they're going to explain to you what that looks like. They're going to tell you about how to share. We do a call, you guys, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock in this same Zoom room here, where we literally share with people, what are ketones? What is Keto Nat? How do I use it? What are the benefits? Like, we do that every week. So you could literally share this just by inviting people onto that call every Tuesday. So it's no pressure, you guys. One thing about us is we want you to get in where you fit in. We want to support you in whatever role that you want to play in this, okay? So we're super, super excited that you guys joined us tonight for this. Again, you know, reach out to the person and let them know, the person that invited you to come on here and say, hey, I made it in. Oh, I think it's going to show us here where to see that. This is good. Okay. So you see here, if you log into your store, there you go. There, it's going to show you the promoter membership. You can select that. It's $1 instead of $37 if you decide to do that. And then down below, you see here the promoter packs. And that's where you've got that upgraded starter promo system at 40% off. So that shows you the 3 boxes. And then if you're really, really ketone crazy and you want extra products on hand, there's a larger pack there that you can also grab with the 40% off. So jump into your back office, take a look at it, see what it's all about. Drop a couple lines out to some friends, some family, whoever you thought about while they were talking about just the different amazing benefits that you get from this product. Listen, you never know if you don't ask. That's one thing I've learned about this. Invite a couple people to do the Drink Ketones challenge with you. Share some of the products. Let them experience it for themselves. And we wish you guys the best in your ketone journey. Stay consistent. Stay plugged into our amazing community. That is where growth happens. And we truly, truly appreciate all you hopping on and spending a little bit of time with us tonight. So with that, you guys have an amazing evening. Thank you, Julia and Logan. Thank you, Kate, so much. And thank all of you guys. And you guys take care, stay well, and we'll see y'all soon. Good night.